Hello YouTube, Hyrulians, followers and friends. I am BlueFlamePrince and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past Randomizer, where today we will be going to face off with Blind within this dungeon, and we should be able to get the green pendant. However, in the last episode we found the Cane of Burna, I believe is what it was. This is the cane that makes you invincible, so I'm trying not to use it since this is one of the cheap ways to kind of beat him and several other bosses. So I'm pretty much just going to see how well it goes and only use it as a last resort. Besides that, we have a lot to do today, especially once we beat him, because we will be able to get the green pendant. And actually, he is pretty easy. It's just, it would be a lot easier with a shield, which we do not have. This is pretty much like the no shield run. So, 2 heads. I guess 2 heads are better than 1. However, he is getting much harder, and didn't want to use that. We need more bottles where I don't have to continue to waste the blue potions. But by damaging boosts through trying to dodge the lasers, we finally got another certificate showing that we've beat this dungeon. And one thing that I wanted to kind of mention is Blind is probably one of the only bosses that actually returns within a future game, which I believe he shows up in Link Between Worlds. But we now have the green pendant, which is more white since we're standing in the sunlight. And I really didn't want to try to make that rhyme. But, you know, we got the green pendant, and this actually means we can go talk to Sahasrara now, and he will be giving us an item. But there's another dungeon down. So I'm actually want to go explore a little bit more in the Dark World, since over here where the blacksmiths would be, there is a chest up there, but I guess we need the Titan's Myth. Also, I was kind of wrong in the last episode of how to do this mirror glitch. And you're supposed to actually do it right up here to about right here. But let's see what we can do, because I actually want to see if we can do this where we can at least return the blacksmith's partner to where he belongs, because they will also give us an item. This isn't turning out the way that I planned, but you can always expect the unexpected. Well, okay, so we can kind of count that off, because I cannot do it without the Titan's Myth. And actually, if we walk over here, this is actually where the shovel minigame is. And I wanted to kind of go ahead and get this out of the way, since this is the last place we can truly use the shovel. So he's going to randomly take our rupees, and we just have to dig. And there's the prize right there. So I don't think there's much more. I don't think there's anything else in here. I think you would normally get a piece of heart, but you know, the more rupees that we can dig up, the more that we can keep. Okay, well, I see how it is. So now that that's completely out of the way, we don't really have much use for the shovel anymore. However, I have just thought of 2 other places that we can check. Now, I feel like this could be kind of interesting since normally whenever you're in the dark world, there are certain areas more opened up that you couldn't get to before. And this would actually allow you to appear on mountains and other places within the light world, such as this location right here. Since, yeah, this area was pretty much up on the mountain that we could not reach. Now, normally there would be a piece of heart here, but we now have a full heart container. Didn't change much, but hey, not complaining. Now, the one key thing that we are starting to need is the Book of Medora, which I just really want to get a hold of because there are these stone tablets around and they would normally grant you the medallions and okay, so this guy normally would give you the shovel. Instead, 50 rupees. Then okay, so yeah, he's wanting us to play the music, but what I was getting to is that the tablets would actually give you the Bombos and Ether medallion. And I actually recently found this out, is that there are some of these trees you can talk to, which I'm going to say these guys could have been the Kokiri at some point. Well, it's that or the... No. I take that back. Not the... I say the Kokiris because they turn into the Kuroks within other games. But I'm going to say the Deku Scrubs because it fits the Deku Scrubs a lot more than the Kuroks. Yeah, okay, well, we know of the Lost Wood portal. So... ooh, these guys got slightly stronger. Now where Link's house is, we should be able to get the super bomb unless we need both of the red crystals. And we need both red crystals. So that is pretty much what the red crystals will unlock, as you can see there. And for what I've read, they are actually supposed to resemble Dungeon 5 and Dungeon 6. So for any of you that wants to keep up with where we're supposed to be. I am now just... okay, yeah. About to say, I need to know where we're going. So, I'm going to leave the portal here. And then we will go visit Sahasrara, since he was probably holding something back from our uncle. Since he was the guy that actually took away our uncle's sword. Because that's where we got the sword first. But I know I've kind of mentioned this in the past, but when it comes to The Legend of Zelda, I still just like the history to it. And it feels like that this area right here where the Eastern Palace is was supposed to be where the Lost Woods once was. So there's a lot to kind of take in. Also, there are plenty of Rito statues. I have found the green pendant. Will you give me the Pegasus shoes, or what will you give us? So many choices. I mean, I would also take the magical book. I did all of that for a freaking piece of heart. This trip was a waste of time. So Hasarala, remind me not to talk to you again. Okay, so now I'm going to return to Link's house. And actually, we are going to completely ignore that portal. Because I thought of one last place I would like to go to. Because there's just still so much more to do within this episode. Actually, who came up with the idea of having red, blue, and green soldiers? I understand even the guys in the ball and with the ball and chain, they have the yellow armor. So I'm coming back up here because this is where we would go to the Pond of Ill Omen, which is technically bad luck. There's another word that I'm trying to think of, but can't think of it right yet. Also, something that I've just recently been looking into is how the maps of Hyrule's been. And when it comes down to it, this, in the Hyrule Encyclopedia, it says that this area down here is the bottom of the map in Zelda 1. While the top of the map would be farther up the waterfall, where the Zoras would be. So this would have normally said, please don't throw anything in this pond where the circle is. But we're going to do it anyways. And then walk away. Or at least try to. Awesome! Now, he would normally give us the Quake Medallion. And he tells us not to throw anything else in this pond. But let's see what happens. Nothing. A fish. So, with the power of the magic mirror, we can now skip through most of this in the light world and appear at the Fountain of Wishes and Zora's River. Normally the fairy here would power up your boomerang, your shield, and I believe a few other items. They would also give you a magic potion. But let's see what these two chests hold. Oh, we just found the silver arrows. Those are technically the last items you would get within the entire game, since those are the only things that you can beat Ganon with. So there has to be something good here, right? 20 rupees. Just what I asked for. This is amazing. Now, we are going to be making our way up through Zora's River. And because we already have the... Because we already had the flippers, we don't have to worry much. 20 rupees up there. Not going to worry much about it. Even though these Zoras are supposed to be bad in this game, Link just straight up destroys them. And it's also funny that a handful of these Zoras, such as that one right there, cannot swim. These others, on the other hand, can. Now, normally we would have to pay about, I think, 300 or 500 rupees to get the flippers from this guy. Oh! But we are just getting hearts, hearts, and more hearts. And we just lost a good bit of our money. But no matter. We had plenty of money to begin with. Link is one of the richest people in Hyrule. I am seriously not going to worry about those 20 rupees up there. Also, does the magic mirror work here? Nope. Okay. I had to test that. So, because there's just so much to do in this episode, I was going to have this as the last place, since we are kind of pushing the time, but I just want to go ahead and get the few areas just out of the way. And there was a secret area right up here. Also, why does the crabs not really appear in any other game? I mean, sure, Wind Waker a little bit, but they are not classified as an enemy. So here is a thieves' hideout where we would have found the ice rod. Rupees, rupees, and more rupees. Hello, ma'am? Yes. Will you please give us an item? And what will you give us? Uh-huh. Oh, you're talking about the guy that stays silent and where we have to give him the chest. Also, you're no help. But I believe while we're up here, I'm just going to make a quick trip here. Capture us a fairy. Poor little fairy. Huh. That fairy didn't heal us all the way. That's interesting. So, I feel like to end this episode, there are two last places. Because I feel like since there is just so much to do here, I keep on thinking of one thing to do right after the other. And there's the place up here, which once we get the Titan's Mint, we can actually enter the Ice Palace, which is the funnest dungeon in the whole game. Well then, I thought there would have at least been a chest here, because they've kind of disabled most of the fairy fountains. But now, here we are, underneath the great bridge, where the sleeping man is. The man who decides to... it's just pretty much Malin from, you know, Ocarina of Time. Hi, wake up. Give me a bottle, please. Okay, I was joking because I knew he was going to give me a bottle. But he actually gave me a bottle. Wow. Okay. You know how whenever you play randomizers, you're not really expecting to get the item that was normally there? Yeah, he gave us a magic bottle. And yes, they are actually magical. I mean, what do you expect? A bottle... There's a bottle that holds a magical fairy. You think those fairies would find a way to get out of them. It's also kind of funny since the Great Fairy in Hyrule Warriors puts Link within the bottle. That's what Link gets for all these years. But you know what, guys? I'm actually going to end this episode off here. And in the next episode, we are going to return to the Dark World and go to the Swamp Palace. Because, well, I mean, we already have the hook shot. And yeah, so this has been BlueFlamePrince. If you have enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to leave a like or a comment below. And let me know if you still enjoyed this series. Or if you are starting to feel more like this guy right here. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you wish to see more video game related videos. And this has been BlueFlamePrince. Thanks for watching, and later.